Well, I am right now reading through some of the comments that you guys have left on this last video. The blindfold cable comparison, speaker cable comparison to be specific. And I gotta tell you, I have felt the need to make this video today in order to go over some of these comments and give you my opinion on this entire speaker cable conversation. I have completely done a 180-degree turn from my normal programming. I've been doing a lot of cable talk, cable conversations, cable comparisons, and this is because you all found it very interesting. And so I feel that I'm very well equipped to give you extreme cable comparisons. In this case, the last video you saw a $27 speaker cable be compared against a $20,000 Griffin Vanta series speaker cable. And I had two of my good friends, local audiophile friends, Carlos and Oz from Let There Be Sound. And so the entire intent of that video was to simply give you an unbiased take on what happens behind the scenes in front of the cameras when you wear a blindfold and you let your ears speak to you. In case you haven't watched the video, you should be aware that Carlos and Oz selected the $27 oxygen-free copper speaker cable, and I went on to explain to a lot of you my reasoning as to why that was. So I think what you're doing here, though, is one thing that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, you were going for a little more of the warmer sound and selected that as your not so good cable. And you were going with the tilted top end, bright or livelier kind of feel for the more expensive cable.
You're right.
And the reason for that is, remember, cable settling time is a thing. The Griffin Vantas need time, and once you put them in the system for some time, they open up.
Oh, okay.
But I started to think about it and try to make sense as to why they had the same answers along the way. And I'm going to explain to you, very simple, I think, why they both had the same answers. And this might be able to make sense now. So if you think about it logically, right? If you're closing your eyes and you're listening to, you already know the first cable that's playing, okay, and you call that in your head, that is the cheap cable, okay? So when I swap cables, right, to the next cable, logically, without you having to hear anything, you're not gonna write that you're listening to the same cable because I just told you you are listening to another cable, so you're gonna select the audiophile cable in your head. You're not even gonna think about that one. Hey, I think the first one is the cheap cable, so logically, I don't even need to hear the second presentation. That is clearly the audiophile cable. So when we move on to the next track, okay, and I switch cables, clearly they are aware that we just went back to the cheap cable, right? So it's simple, guys. Presentation one is gonna be for them, the cheap one. The same exercise with another cable will be the audiophile grade. Then we go back to the same presentation with a different song, which is the first cable. So they went with that chronological order. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are all the same answers. 2, 4, 6, 8 are all the same answers because I told them that I was changing cables. Or I believe in two cases I wasn't. So you see what I'm saying? So I think this is why they had the same answers, because in their mind, they have to follow the same pattern that they had already chosen on the first two tracks. Think about it logically, right? So this is the reason why I feel that they were identical with the answers. What I could have done better, though, I think I should have just said to them, I am going to either change or not change the cable. You're not going to know. And I should have gone behind the speakers and probably made a little bit of noise with some spades or some RCA, bananas, whatever it is, to make it sound like I'm changing cables, but I may not be changing cables, right? That should have been the real test, right? I should have gone to the back and really fooled them completely. Maybe not change a cable and told them I was changing it, right? And so I thought about this after the fact, after the video wrapped up. So that's my bad. I'm going to take that, of course, as my own fault. That said, some of the comments, okay, that I have read have been along the lines of, oh, this guy forced that narrative on Oz and Carlos. He's trying to convince us too that the reason why they selected Cable 1 as the cheap one and the one that they like better is because they didn't give enough time to the Vanta series cable to settle in. Okay, you're telling me that I'm trying to force this idea on Carlos and Oz in some of you. Well, logically, I have done these trials for a while by myself. And yes, I understand you're going to say, well, you know what cable's playing anyhow, Jay. So it doesn't count when you do them in your lab unless you're wearing a blindfold and someone is changing cables for you. I agree with that. Okay, but I'm going to tell you, it's a fact, even with the $27 cable. Okay, when you insert it into the system and you let it sit there for some hours playing music, the cable begins to change. The sonic characteristics begin to, for example, begins to open up a little more. There is a lot more clarity. Yes, a little bit of more edginess, I would say. Things begin to happen. So to say that a speaker cable doesn't change with play time is, to me, stupidity, plain stupid. Again, this is my opinion. You don't have to agree with me at all. I personally believe cables change when you play music through them for a few hours or a few days, a few weeks. They change. Okay, so, or your point, I should say, of me trying to push this narrative on you about this guy's just trying to mislead us. We clearly saw that Carlos and Oz selected this. Guys, you have to remember one thing. I didn't have to post anything. I didn't have to make a video about any of this. I didn't have to. And I still went on, made the video, and released it for you all to watch. So what are you all talking about when you say I'm trying to create a narrative and all of that? I didn't have to make a video, but I went on and made a video for you all. So no, I'm not afraid of putting actual facts or findings front and center for you guys to beat it up in the comment section, for you guys to talk about in the comment section. I don't have a problem. As a matter of fact, I feel probably thrilled to be the next test subject of this exercise and actually wear a blindfold myself and have people behind swap cables for me. Because there's one other additional component you're not thinking about. I am very familiar with my system. Although I have a brand new speaker, so I'm still trying to get acquainted to this new speaker, okay? But I can tell you that anytime you hear component swaps in someone else's system, it is a very difficult exercise, very difficult task, okay? If you're used to panels and you go to someone else's house and listen to horns, how the hell are you supposed to hear cable swaps? That easy. When you're used to a certain type of loudspeaker design or, loudspeaker technology, it's very hard. It's extremely hard. So we have to give kudos to Carlos and Oz for taking on this challenge and actually put themselves out there like this because, the reality is that many people have the guts to embark on what we just did. Remember, this system is entirely different to the systems they have at home. Okay, I have a $250,000 Sonos Fiber speakers in here. I have a $250,000 another flagship speaker that you haven't seen yet. I have a lot of top-end components that they don't live with. It's very hard to nail what happens in someone else's system. This is why any trial that you do when you're trying to select a component should be done in your own home with your own electronics, in your own system, where you are keeping most of the variables intact, as constant as possible. See, I'm even contemplating the possibility of comparing an affordable Blu-ray player. I have an Oppo 205 in here, and I have a Panasonic top-of-the-line Blu-ray player. I might even do a comparison of those two Super Audio CD players against the $38,000 esoteric K1X SE SACD player. But you know what might be making me not want to make that comparison? Those of you who might say, well, yeah, I heard a difference, but it ain't worth no $30,000. It's not worth no $35,000. Again, they're missing the point. These people are completely just confused. Because I just explained to you that the improvement is never proportionate to the cash difference. It never is, it never will. Anyway, I do read the comments. I try to respond to you all. Some of you, of course, I don't respond to. I don't even bother to respond to some of the comments because if they're stupid, I'm not answering them, okay? I'm just leaving them alone. I'm not deleting them. I'm leaving them alone, and I'm going right past those comments, okay? If you have something smart to say, whether you agree or disagree with me, it's fine because I am not going to force you to believe what I'm saying. What I want to definitely say one more time is, yes, I was impressed by the results, and yes, the $27 speaker cables were a very interesting comparison against these Vanta series cables. And maybe in the future, I will continue to dive deeper into this entire cable conversation. Maybe there might be more videos. I don't really know. But if you are interested in watching me do the same thing Carlos and Oz went through, what they did here, meaning me blindfolded, sitting here and recording the same thing, I select my songs and I put on a piece of paper what I feel I'm hearing. Let it be known in the comment section. Comment. Let me know if you want me to be front and center and be put through the same exercise. I am not afraid. If I fail, I failed. You'll see it. Do you want that? Let me know. Thank you again for that support. Thank you for that love. And stay tuned because I do have a very special loudspeaker, a speaker that has completely blown me away. And you'll get to see it next week. Peace.